One is a Mets fan, the other is a Yankees fan. Together, they make the perfect show. It's The Divide with Mike and Corey, right here on The Gambler.
Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey.
Hopefully our disagreements one day bring us all together.
So stupid. So corny and so stupid. I hope our disagreements bring us together.
Yeah, I do.
Shut up, Porter! Hey, I'm just trying to have a little friendly conversation.
Gator don't play no shit. You feel me?
This is The Divide.
All right, welcome everybody to The Divide. We are back for week 2, the second week of many, many more. This is Corey. I am here with Mike. We're also joined today with Ty and Germ. Guys, what's up? Our two producers in the studio.
What up, man?
Peace, family.
Yeah. So we're back.
We are back
for a second week, which is not surprising for us, but based off of our DMs on our socials, it's very surprising for some of the Philly fans. Right. Now, we do have to share with you, last week was Father's Day. Mm-hmm. So we were told to pre-record everything. So we got a lot of hate as we expected, but Mike did a Father's Day parlay that included the Phillies winning and Bryce Harper hitting a home run, but Bryce was scratched for the day. So we were called some not so nice names and so they were claimed that our IQ was a little bit lower because how could we place a bet on a guy that wasn't playing? But keep in mind, we were hoping to place that bet the day of, but we really recorded the day before that.
No, right before he went out with the blister. I think it was like Wednesday or something. We recorded that night.
Oh, Thursday night we recorded
or something like
to
that.
Be able to upload, to cut, and all that other stuff.
So I looked down at my phone. I knew it was going to be an issue. It wasn't an issue. It was an issue for some of our fans or new followers or.
I wouldn't call them
hate
fans,
watchers.
I was going to say, I would call them new followers. I wouldn't call
watchers.
them fans.
No, we loved it. We appreciate it. We appreciate all the feedback. Also, some Yankee fans came after me because I was mocking 26 rings. Shout out to Jay.
Which I'm disappointed in myself for not picking up on when you said that. I got no one to blame here.
To be fair, though, like two things. One, I don't hear it as much anymore. It was really in that high school type setting where like people would say it. And so with the 2009 championship, I don't really, I haven't heard it since then.
You mean the Yankee fans saying 26, 27?
27. It's not said as much. It's not a mocking thing anymore.
Well, and you're also not around those circles.
And the other thing is, I challenged Bryce Harper because he did hit a home run on Mother's Day. He didn't hit one on Father's Day. He took an easy way out. So I don't think he hates his dad, but think you like your mom better.
Yeah, it's safe to say that. It definitely is. But hey, listen, either way, we're happy with the response we got last week. We're going to keep doing what we're doing here and keep flooding our DMs, guys. Keep sending us messages. The best way to get to us. Check out our socials, The Divide Live on Instagram, Divide Live on Twitter, and check out dividelive.com.
Yeah.
Dividelive.com. I feel like I always mess that up sometimes.
TheDivideLive.com.
But special show today. A little bit later in the programming, we do sit down with Cliff Floyd, former MLB player. Super cool conversation we get to have with him. We are super excited about that. But let's dive in because an article came out that we're not really fans of right now. And I'm not talking just because we hate on Philadelphia,
right?
But we pulled up an article. And it lists, the article is called The Top 10 Athletes of Philly or in Philly right now. Top 10 athletes in Philadelphia right now.
Right.
So that covers everything. All Philadelphia sports. You got baseball, basketball, hockey, football as well. So instead of taking you through all 10, we're going to start with the top. Number 1, Bryce Harper is listed as the number 1 athlete in Philadelphia right now. How?
Blasphemous.
Why?
Blasphemy. Why? Because he's Bryce Harper. I don't want to. Because he's Bryce Harper. That's why he's number 1. He looks handsome, I guess.
He missed how many games with a blister? A blister.
Half a week.
An infected blister. You know, everybody listening, you guys know blisters, right? They're the things that you put Band-Aids on and then go on with the rest of your life. Blisters.
Baseball blisters are a lot different.
Here comes the baseball guy here.
To be fair. Like,
I'm not going to hit on Bryce. I'm not going to hit on Bryce.
Times. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm just saying it's not even about Bryce. It's about Embiid not being number 1. That's where the hate is right now.
There
that's
we
where
go.
the hate is.
That's
the fact that Embiid isn't number 1.
Embiid's number 2. But I agree with you guys. I don't think Bryce should be number 1, especially after the season the Sixers had. You're listing. Here's how I feel this list went. I feel this list is listing Bryce as number 1 just because basketball season's over and we're in the middle of baseball season. But that doesn't mean you can negate what Embiid did all season.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid is the face of the city, guys. Joel Embiid, you drive into the city, it's the process. It's not called the Harper or the Bryce. It's called the process. Joel, the process Embiid, leads this city. And what is Bryce Harper? I mean, yeah, the NL MVP that a lot of people feel like he shouldn't have gotten, considering what the Phillies didn't do last season in the playoffs. But Joel Embiid with a broken face, broken thumb, thanks to Scott Foster and Pascal Siakam in the NBA playoffs, getting virtually little to no help. And here we are, Bryce Harper, number 1. Joel Embiid playing with an orbital bone fracture in his face. His eyes were tilted the opposite direction. And
Germ,
Bryce Harper,
he had a blister, Germ. Did you not hear that?
Oh my gosh.
He had the blister.
So in the hierarchy of sports injuries, the blister is above orbital bone fracture. Got it.
Of course. A&P number 1 right there.
Yeah, there is some hope for this show. Our producers are diehard Sixers fans. They try to convert us. Hasn't happened yet. But yeah, we will have a Sixers take from time to time. So yeah, I guess they're also including what Bryce did as a national, because there's other guys on here that haven't even played a game in a Philadelphia uniform.
Yeah, there are on actually, and you're right. You move on. Number 1, number 2, you have Harper and Embiid. Number 3, you have Jason Kelce, plays for the Eagles. Number 4, you have a new Eagle that has not played 1 snap for the Eagles yet in an actual NFL game, and that's AJ Brown. This article, and we're not citing them for a specific reason, just because we don't agree with a lot of this stuff. But you can look it up. The article's literally called the top 10 athletes in Philadelphia right now. But they're listing AJ Brown as the number 4 athlete in Philadelphia right now. And all of his accolades, everything they list has to do with what he did in Tennessee. And that's great. But you have yet to play for the Eagles, man. Like, you don't know how good you're going to be with a brand new quarterback. I mean, I know you're still, arguably a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. But I don't know. I think he's too high on this list in my humble opinion.
What about Reese or Schwarber? Are they around?
No. You got AJ Brown, you got Zach Wheeler's number 5.
Okay.
Darius Slay is number 6, and then you got Devontae Smith, Jalen Hurts at 8. You go all the way down to Aaron Nola at 9, and then Tyrese Maxey at 10. Those are your.
You know what? For clarification, I'm reading this. It's saying top 10 athletes, right? Athletes. Are we talking? Jason Kelce does not belong number 3. Athletes. Athletes in Philadelphia. No offense, Jason Kelce. Okay,
and if you're putting Bryce Harper on this list based on national success, then why isn't James Harden on this list?
He's not.
Harden needs to be.
So
Harden needs to be.
If you look at this article, here's the stupid part, and I don't even know why we're still talking about, because it's stupid. But here's the stupid part is that the only thing they give him is his over the last calendar year, his batting average, or at least all of his averages. And that's just only in the last year they're doing this. And just that he's the reigning National League MVP. Those literally the only 2 things they throw out there.
Corey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, of course you can.
When they're ranking this, because we're reiterating that Bryce Harper somehow, through the grace of God, is number 1 on this guy's list over Joel Embiid. Is Bryce Harper a top 5 player in Major League Baseball, would you say? Because I can name 5 off the top of my head that are better than him. Let's go Shohei, Mike Trout, Tatis, Soto, Mookie Betts. I would comfortably put them ahead, and I'm sure there's more. Joel Embiid, there's probably 1 or 2 people ahead of him if you're going to rank NBA players, but he is firmly in the top 5. That's why this list is ridiculous.
I could argue that. See, the top 5 for Major League Baseball players is going to be like, I would need a more in-depth look, because there's just, if you're talking all
you go
tools,
like 15 other players,
right?
We could all have different
to narrow
top 5s.
It down. That would be tough. I will say you would have an easier time narrowing down your top 5 in the NBA than a top 5 in Major League Baseball. So
yeah, it's just
by
law
that
of rosters.
sense, by that sense, Sherm, then yeah, you're 100% right. It would be you. Embiid has a better chance of ranking that top 5 than Bryce Harper does. To say that.
Who's a better athlete, do you believe?
I mean, hey, they're different sports here.
Yo, I love Thrust the Process. The whole DX Sixers collab. I was freaking out. So like that was so much fun, man. They're bringing out Triple H to,
Yeah, Triple H never came to Bryce Harper's games. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, facts. That's kind of true. Hey, look, whatever. Philly, you decide. DM us at the Divide Live if you have a different guy that should be number 1, or if you think Mr. NV3 Bryce Harper should be number 1 athlete in Philadelphia.
And I like these kinds of takes. I like, when we used to do this on the podcast all the time, we used to do the Mount Rushmores of different cities and stuff. So more to definitely come in the future, guys, as far as most hated players, most loved players, the Philadelphia Mount Rushmore of athletes in all different types of sports. So I definitely like having some fun with these types of topics, and not to say that we can't write a better top 10 in Philly article, but hey, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So I don't mind putting it out there at all.
We got Cliff Floyd coming up next,
dude. Or how excited are you? Right
I can't.
For those of you listening, Mike has been like the most, it's like a kid before Christmas all of today. Like he can't wait. He's got his notes in front of him. We're going to talk with Cliff.
Talk some golf.
He talks some golf. There's a lot of topics here, and we don't have a lot of time. But yeah, I can't wait to get it started. He's such a cool dude, and you've talked to him a couple times before.
Absolutely.
He's been super supportive of the show and the podcast we had. So we definitely got that. So let's do it. Coming up next, guys, we're gonna have former Major League Baseball player and current Major League Baseball analyst. Oh my God, analyst. There we go. Cliff Floyd. We are going to be right back. You're listening to The Divide on Fox Sports The Gambler.
Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey, 2 diehard baseball fans who don't agree on anything. Which side will you choose? This is The Divide.
All right, welcome back, everybody. As promised, we do have a special guest with us here today, Mr. Cliff Floyd. Cliff, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to talk to us a little bit.
No doubt, man. Thanks for having me.
Hey, anytime. And I mean that literally. Anytime you want to call in and be a part of the show, please, by all means. I think out of the 3 people, or possibly 4 with our producers in the studio, that I think fans are going to be listening to you the most instead of 2 guys. I just love to talk about baseball. But for those of you that don't know, Cliff spent 17 seasons in the majors, won a championship in 1997 when he was with the Marlins, but he played for a bunch of teams, including the Expos, the Marlins, the Red Sox, the Cubbies, the Rays, the Padres, and of course, Mike's hometown favorite, the Mets. And right now you can catch him being a baseball analyst. He's got a broadcasting job. He's also doing things for Apple TV on Friday nights. Mike, you go right ahead, man. I know that you were waiting to get chomping at the bit here.
So speaking of the Apple TV thing, how is that, your experience with that? And,
Yeah, man, it's been cool. It's obviously different. It's a different vibe than watching your typical every night home broadcast team and whatever case may be. And it's new, it's fresh. I think people are totally looking at it the wrong way when you look at social media and how they take a lot of backlash. But every time I get a chance to do an interview on that Friday before I do one, I try to let the fan base know it's gonna be different. It's not gonna be all baseball. It's gonna be a lot of, how my flight was coming in, the fool that was sitting next to me coughing for 20 minutes in my ear, with no mask on type of crap. Like, it's going to be some stuff like that, but totally different. And you know what? It's women. And it's women all over the TV. And it's new, it's fresh, it's refreshing. And Apple is figuring out a different avenue. But I'll tell you one thing, when you look around the game, and then not just baseball, look at football, Amazon is coming with it, live streaming. Peacock with NBC is coming. I'm doing some of those games, and Apple's right there. So if we're talking about money machines with Brink trucks. You're talking about these companies got a lot of bread to spend. We saw the MLS deal for $2.5 million. Not my bad one, not with an M, with a B. Bill for that, for that deal in soccer. You better believe that it's coming in all sports.
Now you had just mentioned something that just kind of raised an eyebrow and a question for me. You talked about these different avenues and the social networks and not just talking strictly about baseball, but getting into your day and all that. With this whole Apple broadcast, I do think they found this niche here where, they're trying to get more fans to this sport. And even though it's a game of money, I feel like that type of avenue with not just baseball talk, but life talk and different behind the scenes types just for you and some of the players. Do you think that gives a kind of a good new perspective on this game to draw more people to it?
I really do. I'm not just saying that. I really do. I think it's a different perspective that we haven't had. It's been strictly to the point. And most people, they really just want to hear about the sport at that given time. And I get it. But this is just a different era. I mean, my son, who I hope and pray one day is playing on the field. He's 6'3", 235-pound wide receiver down in Florida. He never watches a Sunday football game. I mean, never. You know what I'm saying? And he can tell you everything that's on the field. He can tell you every general manager. He can tell you everybody because he has an iPad and he. Across every live stream of whatever's going on the iPad, he knows every score. He knows every rushing yard, every receiving yard, every quarterback, the second string quarterback, the second string DN. I'm like, man, how the hell you know all this stuff? You never watched the two, bro. Like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? But I think it's coming. I really do. I think it's something it's new. Obviously for old heads like me, and like, if you guys call yourself old heads, like I like to watch TV. I like to look at the tube. I mean, I pay good bread, to watch HD. You know what I mean, on a bigger screen. So we'll see what happens. But I think this is new and it's going to be around. It's coming. It's coming fast.
I'm sorry not to jump on, but I think just to add to that, I mean, you're obviously 100% right. And it's crazy. I mean, take the NBA finals that finished up last week. You had the game and then most kids, they're not watching the after show to get the breakdown. They're waiting to see what Draymond's going to say on his podcast next. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
They have like the tools to break down the game whenever they want. So I think you're right with all of technology. Sometimes, they take a look at other things.
Yeah. The content is definitely changing. I mean, we had a bunch of fact checkers from our first show kind of telling us where we were wrong on stats or whatever. Like, dude, we didn't get the job because we're the stat guy.
God,
you know what I mean? We got Corey's good looks, but that's why they put us on radio. But but
it's true, man.
Yeah.
It's real.
When I first looked at Apple and I ran into that roadblock where I couldn't find my game, and then I Googled it and found out the Mets were on Apple. At first I was annoyed. I have to download this. It's one extra step. But then I realized, like, when that agreement happened, and it was during, the negotiations and the lockout. So that was the first glimmer of hope. So now I do it proudly because I gave it a shot and it's an excellent programming. But also, like, I was like, okay, cool. My team is back, so I should shut my mouth because this money probably got that negotiating accelerated. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly right. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell. And you look at football, and the worst teams in the NFL pack stadiums. I mean, you're literally have no shot at winning the game, at all. But on Sunday, you have people out there pregame, doing their thing, enjoying the festivities with their people, and then going in and watching the team that absolutely stinks. So you're going, well, wait a minute. So, but then you look at, the dopest podcast of ex-football players, Pivot, I'm dropping the one with Brandon Marshall.
Right.
I am athlete. Right. You look at the NBA, all the smoke. I mean, these cats are really understanding Draymond Green's podcast. And guess what? My son know all these podcasts. He watches all of them. I mean, baseball. I mean, where we going? If somebody, CC has one. CC Sabathia has one. But other than that, like this is where these kids really are sort of gravitating to, and I can't stop them. Yeah, we're missing.
Yeah. For sure. So our first episode was last week, and we had to rip the Band-Aid off and let all of our we're stationed out of Philadelphia, Fox Sports The Gambler, and it's a Philadelphia-based radio station. So we had to let them know, come up front and let them know we're Mets and Yankee fans.
They're stuck with us no matter what.
Yeah. So it's okay. No big deal.
Yeah. With that said, we went over the worst fan bases and why. So I want to ask you, who's your least favorite fan base to play around?
So I played 17 and a half years in the league. Pretty much 16 of them, or 15 plus whatever, was in the National League, and National League East. So I played in Philly a lot. And Philly, I'm trying to tell you, man, Philly is not for the soft. I'm telling you, but these fans wore you out. I mean, you would turn around and look at a kid that talked about your mama like she wasn't nothing, and he'd be 15 years old. You'd be like, God dang. I mean, you just want to talk about my mom like that, and his daddy be sitting right there. You like, well, I mean, you know what I mean? But I remember, they made me do something that I would never do in any other ballpark. I went to turn around and throw a ball to one of the fans who was just heckling me from like the first time, from the first inning on. It's about the sixth inning. And I turn around, I fake like I'm throwing the ball. I turn back around to run off the field, and there's only one out. Oh. And I mean, the fans, you talking about let me have it. I look over at the cop shrugged his shoulders like, what the hell you want me to do? It was like game over. It was like, I mean, I felt this big, and I had to go back out there for 3 more innings. Can you imagine that? I mean, it was unbelievable. It was awful.
No, man. If Philly's uncomfortable, if you're not rooting for the home team, and we've been to Met games, Yankee games, Ranger games, like you name it. For football, we've been over, and we've never been the home team for Philly, and we just quietly sit there and try to enjoy ourselves because God forbid we get up and start being weird. Yeah. It's like you're asking for
it's like gang related type stuff where you don't want to wear the wrong colors to these games.
Straight up.
Yeah, I just wear neutral, and then they still sniff you out. They're like, "Wait a minute, what did you just say?"
Oh yeah. Your ass ain't cheering for nothing that the home team does, right? Like, yeah, go figure.
I'm like, yeah,
you're a fraud. You're a fraud. I know. Just sum up. Yeah.
So we got the worst place out of the way. What would you say is the best place? The place that you love to play?
Man. So, being that I won a chip in Miami, I should say Miami, but I gotta say New York, man. Like New York was, a place I learned so much about just me. Like I love playing here. Obviously, bright lights, big city. I mean, if you play in New York, I feel like you made it. I think you've heard that a couple times. And most people say, "Well, you didn't really make it because you didn't play in the Bronx." Nah, I say, get out of here with that crap. Queens is hot too, but New York was serious, man. I love Miami, but New York I learned a lot about myself and who I was as a man. I literally put a lot on my shoulders every night. I came ready to play in New York differently than any other place. I was ready to play it everywhere else, but New York made you just strap on a little bit different and go out there and do, all 9 innings. You better give your all. They will boo your ass off the field immediately.
As a hitter, where did you kind of lick your chops and couldn't wait to get to that stadium to play?
Man, Boston was it. And I always wondered how you struggle if you play in Boston or if you get 81 home games in Boston, you should never struggle. Like you should never look at the stat line and be like, damn, he 0 for 20. He been home for 14 days. Nah, that should never happen. Like it just should never happen. That Green Monster is literally like little league dimension. Like it looks like it's like 210, and all you gotta do is flip it over there and you at least break the 0 for 10. You might not get another hit, but you're watching the game evolve right before your eyes, and the shifting and how these guys pitching. Like, if the whole infield shifts over to the left and you're a right-hand hitter, you think they're gonna pitch you away? Like, come on, man. Like, let's get with the program and understand what these guys are doing. It ain't rocket science. I mean, if they say I'm a pull guy, if I'm at the big league level as a left-handed hitter and you shift everybody to the right, well, I don't think you're gonna be pitching me where I'm in a right-hander's batter's box.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I just think hitting today, guys need to understand. We're seeing so many bad averages.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I felt like with the shift, you're gonna get higher averages and possibly lower homers. It's total opposite. Total opposite.
And how do you feel about the news that they're going to ban or make rules around the shift? Are you a fan of that, or?
I'm a big time fan of it. I believe, look, I'm all about putting dubs in the win column. I am, and I also believe you shouldn't be able to tell teams what they can and can't do.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? If I put a team on the field, I should be able to play. I should be able to say, hey, I don't even want a shortstop out here. I should be able to say that. I shouldn't have to field, 8 guys behind my pitcher, or 7 guys behind my pitcher and have the pitcher and catcher. I should be able to do what I want to do. But I do believe that we've gone too analytical with the sport. I am evolving. I have evolved with the sport. I haven't set up here and act like grandpa and been like, nah, this is just too much going on. Like, I'm literally evolving with the sport. But at some point, you got to cut the cord, and understand that the game is changing and so on and so forth. But the shift, I do want to see it evenly played, because I think it's hurting some teams. Like if you're a bad defensive team, I'm sorry, Philly fans, but I'm gonna talk about the Phillies real quick. They've turned it around. They have turned it around. But I'm gonna say this: if you're a bad fielding team, why the hell would you put guys in positions where they're out of position? Do y'all follow what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense to y'all? Like, hey, you can't catch the ball at regular depth, but I'm gonna put you out of the position and then expect you to make a play to your right. Man, get the hell out of here. I mean,
I love it. It's so simple, and that's why I like it. I'm right there with you. I think what they're changing is perfect. The shifts have gotten insane. We're actually going to take a quick break. We will be right back with a lot more from Cliff Floyd. Cliff, man, the more you talk, the more questions just keep popping in my head. So we will be right back. You are listening to The Divide on Fox Sports The Gambler.
Is a Yankees fan. Together, they make the perfect show. It's The Divide with Mike and Corey right here on The Gambler.
Welcome back, everybody. That was a short break, but for me, it felt like the longest break of my life. I am like, I'm ready to jump all over it and get vibing with Cliff Floyd again. Cliff, again, thank you, but I have to go back to we talked in the last segment about your favorite place to play, and you said that you were just you turned it up for New York. I know Philly's going to hate us this week again, but we expect it. Now, earlier in the week, you had Manny Ramirez make comments about Derek Jeter. Did you hear those comments?
Yeah.
About how if he was just a guy in Kansas City, he would just be a guy. It was the fact that he was in New York in this market, and with the cast that surrounded him, the players that surrounded him. What's your take on that?
So I heard it and I thought about it for a second, and my immediate reaction was, he got a point. I didn't wholeheartedly believe it, because I believe good players play elsewhere too. You feel me? So if Jeter was dope in Kansas City, he got a lot of love in Kansas City. And I think there's Hall of Fame players from Kansas City as well. You know what I mean? So I think I know he's going specific with just Jeet and who Jeter is, but man, if you use somebody else, I might agree with it 100%. But Jeet, I went with, well, Jeet's gonna be a Hall of Famer if he played in, you know, wherever ballpark in whatever city. That's how I kind of took it.
Okay.
You know, it was generic for me at the particular time because I'm thinking, nah, you could use somebody else. You know, if you said Tino Martinez, if you said Bernie Williams, Paul O'Neill, Jorge Posada, possibly, I might have said okay. But you know, when you say G, I know it went to another level in New York, but the pressure went to another level. So he had to, you know, he had to take his level of play up. And Kansas City, you gotta get ready for a ball game. They struggled at times. So it would just have been he'd have been on an island by himself. But there's still Hall of Fame players that have touched the field in Kansas City. That was sort of how I took it. And you know, he made some good points about it, but my take was totally based on the name he used, and I thought he would be a Hall of Fame anyway. Hell, he played.
Yeah, as a Yankee fan, I saw red. I was like, how can Manny say that about Jeter? But and I kind of, you know, I agree. If you take Jorge and replace it with G, if he said Jorge's name instead of Derek, and but also he's got a point. But it's Derek Jeter.
He wouldn't have had this. He also wouldn't have had, if he's in Kansas, he wouldn't have had all those playoff opportunities. I don't care how good he was. He didn't have the other people around him, and he was a legend in the playoffs, right? Like he became a godlike figure because of the playoffs. Imagine if he only went to the playoffs once, got knocked out in the first round, or even won the World Series when the Royals unfortunately won it.
Right. It's you know, it was. I actually was shocked that he said it, because I was like, you know, I mean. You know, I think when you think of Manny, you know, you can't forget about the accolades because of what he's done off the field. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I think he was going down a slippery slope because people, you know, nowadays you got everybody with their, everybody has freedom of speech. So you got cats going, you scrub, you know what? You cheated, you did all this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Manny, like, no, like just talk about the game and whatever. Because I think anytime you have any type of thing like that, people going to straight destroy you based on the fact that you was caught cheating in our sport. You know what I'm saying? So you open up that can of worms when you just chilling, enjoying all the riches that you made and enjoying life.
But I mean, you got a valid point. It's not like you think 20 years ago, the only time you were getting heckled by Philly fans was when you were playing in Philly. No. Now it can happen anywhere. You could just be sitting at home and they could be atting you and tweeting you and all
crushing you. We had no social media. We had no phones, but hell, when I got into the league, so you could do anything. You can be like, man, if you didn't catch me on the street, you never saw me. You know what I'm saying?
Manny should have done what Jeter did and send everybody those gift baskets.
Oh man, hey, listen, Jeter's a pro for that. I'm sure, Cliff. I don't know if you get. I imagine. Have you seen any more than just the preview of the Derek Jeter documentary coming out? You looking forward to that at all?
I'm looking forward to it, man. You know what? I was fortunate enough. Every once in a while, when I played for the Mets, the Yankees were in town, and we hung out, and I enjoyed him being the best version of himself without nobody knowing. And I just kept saying to myself, why the hell you couldn't be that guy? Like, why couldn't you come into town and have, living your life, playing the best baseball of your life, not having no kids, not thinking about marriage until you've done, having a dime piece around you every single time you want to one. Like, why you have to do it the other way? Why you couldn't do it like this man did it? You know what I'm saying? I was just envious of how he rolled. And like every time we had a party, it would just be 10-1 women.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, damn, this never gets out. Like nothing never showed face. Nothing never was bad. He would just be in, he would be chilling, and then all of a sudden be like, where'd Jeet go? He gone. Like, damn.
That is awesome.
He did the right way. I mean, he wasn't married. You had nothing on him ever. Nobody said nothing about him ever. Nothing. If you can look back even back in the day, there was nothing ever on Derek Jeter other than the gift baskets. Which, by the way, I wish I did that too. I wish I could have gave out a damn gift basket.
The funniest thing is like people. Let's just send a gift basket. Like people do that. Yeah,
I'd be happy with a gift basket.
I would. Gee, send us a gift basket.
Send me one. Shit, I've been like, hell, send me one too.
Next time you see him, you got to say that. I saw you at his golf tournament, charity event, right? You looked amazing, dude. I was like, get that man on the field. Like, so you look great there.
Blast, man.
No, it was awesome, dude. Yeah. How do you keep your body as your bones start to get old? Like, how are you keeping that?
What is your secret?
Well, you see Kyle Farnsworth today. You see that?
Yes.
You see Kyle? Yes. Okay. That ain't my damn secret. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That ain't it. So my secret is you get on the Peloton bike and you try to act like, you the old, well, maybe the new version of Lance Armstrong, not the old one, because the old one did some other stuff. We ain't gonna talk about that. But when you think about the Peloton, man, and what it's done for me, I mean, I give myself a chance to wake up and be happy, because I tell you, that bike is something else, man. It's competitive. You got people that see you on there be like, I'm not gonna let this 50-year-old dude beat me in this 45-minute race to the end with Alex Toussaint doing this thing and all this stuff, man. So I'll be going at it. Like, I get after it. And you know what? I can do 15. I'm up to like 45 minutes around. I hit like the 15-mile plateau the other day, and I was like, I ain't never gonna be Tour de France, but I get a chance to like enjoy this and be happy.
Yeah. I want to get a little emotional real quick. When the world was starting to divide and like life was getting crazy, and it still is crazy, and there's still a lot of work to be done. You were a voice for everyone. Like, you shared personal stories and feelings and emotion, and you personally changed my life. I see hate in a different way, and indirect hate a different way. When somebody used to say something and I let it go, I would never let it go now, and my circle got smaller and smaller. So I want to thank you for that. It means a lot to this network. It means a lot to me as a person, and you have no idea how much your words changed people's lives, especially mine.
That's awesome. That's what it's all about. I mean, that's what I think we sort of get away from the real deal and what's going on. And we have so much negativity out there every single day that, it's kind of hard to walk out your door and not look left and right first. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like, it's getting to that scary point of like, what's going on? I mean, shootings and all kind of foolishness that I wake up and I say every day, I said, man, I just want to shower, eat, and like go enjoy life. Like, what's all this turmoil in our world? Like, what's going on? And I know it's a lot, that, I'm never trying to be funny about that, but I just know there's a lot more to life than what we're seeing every single day and all this negativity. Like, I sometimes feel bad about my 3 children I brought into this world. Like, damn, did I do the right thing? I mean, at some point I'm leaving this earth, and hopefully, I'll leave before them. And I just want to leave them in good hands. I want them to be as happy as I've been in my life and been able to accomplish all the things I've accomplished. And it's just scary. It's just scary. And I just hope we can get this thing righted sooner than later, man, because it just beats you down. Really, it really does beat you down to the point where you're just, you're throwing a white flag a lot. And it's just not how it should be.
No.
Yeah, no. And then you said it. It's life should be fun. You should have, you had a lot of fun in your life. You said you got, playing golf, baseball, hopping on the Peloton and all that. Let's talk about Mets Old Timers Day. That's coming back this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Have you got the invitation? Will you be playing in Mets Old Timers Day?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, I'll be there. People think it's, they like, wait, old time? I'm like, yeah, man. Like, if you've been done with the game a long time, your ass getting the old timers game. Like, that's what it's called. It's like it ain't no other name for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to go out there and play. But that's one of the reasons I'm on the Peloton bike heavy. And the other one is I got to start swinging a different club. I got to swing a bat. Like Al Leiter, literally the other day, he was serious too, and I thought, why are you serious about this old time? And he's like, well, can you hit? I go, well, hell, I don't know if I can hit, but I'm not interested in you being serious about pitching to me. Like, you might hit me and hurt something that I haven't wanted to been hurt in a long time. Like, if you hit me, I'm going to be pissed off. You know what I'm saying? But I got to really get in the cage and start hitting because, I mean, I think some of these guys are really kind of coming to play a little bit.
Gearing
I don't
up,
know.
right?
I mean, I won't be left out. I'll tell you that.
That's what we want to see. I don't want to see a nice, like, friendly, almost, you know, softball game with old timers. I want to see who's
like
still,
they do in the Bronx.
Still got it. Exactly. Yeah, like they do in the Bronx. I want to see who still got it.
Yours looks like
no.
Yeah, I just want to hit a couple. I just want to hit something. And
I think
you know,
one out.
Well, if I hit one out, look, you might not be able to get me off that field. So you hoping I don't hit one because it is a game at 1 o'clock that day.
Just walking around.
You talked about swinging the bat instead of the club and hitting a couple, but I saw a clip not too long ago, and I don't want to repeat what was said to you, but you were playing some golf outing, and that group, I'm sure you're familiar with it now, called Country Club Adjacent, did that back. I know you're rolling your eyes already. They did the back off challenge with you? I'm not going to repeat what they said, but my God.
I told them, I said, look, I got 2 girls, man. Like, let my girls see that, man.
They're ruthless, those guys. I look at them on TikTok. Some of the craziest stuff comes out of their mouth. A lot of it's funny, but first of all, I had to do a double take because, like what Mike said, I didn't even know it was you because you look like you're in phenomenal shape. But
man,
I will
say,
no
idea. I had no idea they was going down that road. Like, it was like. I mean, you know what I said to myself? My boy was like, you should have hit the damn ball. You were standing over the ball for 20 minutes. I was like, well, I was trying to get my rhythm right. So they kept talking.
It, you were set up, you were good, and then the head went down. It's kind of, you were just like, you got it. And they got it. They got you on that one. But I hope you had a good drive after that. I mean,
you know what? Yeah, the ball went straight right into somebody's house. No lie. It went straight right. I was hoping I ain't hit no car, so it was right on the highway. It was, but it was fun. It was a great day, and it was a Puma event, so we was out there enjoying some good time. But I had no idea who these people were. I was like, you know, I'm thinking when I did it, I'm like, this ain't going viral. This is you know, this is small. Man, 1 million people saw that thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They're big.
Corey sent it to me.
I sent it to Mike. This Fox Philly the Gambler. This is a big, very popular network for golf. Swing It and Ding It show is on here. A lot of the guys that are on this, they're big into golf. So maybe we might have to call. But here's what we're gonna do, Cliff. We're gonna call these Country Club Adjacent. We're gonna put them in the batting cage, and then you can sit behind them and talk to them.
Exactly.
Try to hit. That's what we'll do.
Exactly. I'm gonna ask them what family members they have, wife, kids. Let me make sure I dive in.
We'll give you the full book report. We'll record it. We'll show them what's up.
If I'm correct, you're a Bears fan, right?
Big time. Well, back in the day, big time. Okay. I've lost my lust for like being a fan. I don't know what's wrong with me. Like people say, well, you know, are you a Bulls fan? Well, yeah. When Mike was a Bull, yeah. When Walter Payton was running for the Bears, and you know, when we won the Super Bowl and we had, you know, Refrigerator Perry. Yes. Yeah. But nowadays, I'm not saying I'm a Dolphin fan because I live in Miami for 20 years. I'm not.
Why not?
On that.
Come on.
Corey's a Dolphin fan.
You know why? Because I'm not a Tua fan. Right?
Neither
am I. You know what? I mean, you know why? And know why I'm not a Tua fan? Because I saw him on the golf course and I said what up and he curved me. I'm like,
really?
Oh,
yeah, and I hope he gets to hear this. So put it out there so Tua can know that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't there yet, bro. For you to curve anybody, you better say hi to everybody.
Yeah, he might not ever get there.
No.
Well, let me tell you something. If he don't get there now with that wide receiver crew they got, then he ain't ever getting there. Period.
Right. I'm just mad you saw him on a golf course. You should be working out too. You're too young to be on a golf course right now.
Yeah, I saw him. You know, he had right to be out there. He was chilling, but you can't curve people at a country club. Mm-hmm. Somebody might be important there. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
You just never know who.
Yeah. Do you dabble in fantasy football? And is your commissioner better than Mike Trout?
I think what, from what I hear, that's a dope league. And I don't know what Fam and Jock would. I don't know how that, but like, I don't want to be any part of any fantasy football league where you gonna come on the field and slap me. I'm out on that, because I'm gonna fight you for the rest of your life. If you slap me, I'm fighting you forever.
Right, like you can't get past that.
You never slap me. Every time I see Jock, I'm like, damn, dude came out and slapped you. You know what I'm saying? Like what fantasy league has that type of animosity where you got to come on the field and slap me, and Mike Trout's the commissioner, and it's a debacle everywhere. Nah, I want the chill one where we have a good time on Sunday. I get to talk smack to you when I kick your butt whenever we play, and we keep it moving.
Awesome.
That's it. That's all you can ask for.
We'll see if the network would get us our own fantasy league.
I'm sure Fox the Gambler will be able to get something going come football season.
Duh.
We'll have to invite Cliff to join.
And I'm not smacking him after what I just heard. I'm not going.
Nobody should smack anybody. Like
anybody. I mean, that's the worst thing you can do. My daddy used to always say that's the worst thing you can do. You spit on me and slap me. We got issues, and that's it.
That's terrible.
That's it. That's especially spitting on people. Forget it. No, I'm with
you. No, bro. We're not. Let's not even go down that, bro. Because
no, there's not. That's the truest form of disrespect. So we've got everything. Cliff, thank you again. We dive deep, especially from everything from Pelotons to golf, to baseball, where you sit with most things. We appreciate it for taking the time. We can't thank you enough. But if you're listening, tune in next week for another show from 12 to 1. This is The Divide on Fox the Gambler. Welcome to The Divide with Mike and Corey.
Hopefully our disagreements one day bring us all together.
So stupid. So corny and so stupid. I hope our disagreements bring us together.
Yeah, I do.
Shut up, Porter! Hey, I'm just trying to have a little friendly conversation.
Gator don't play no shit. You feel me?
This is The Divide